host to the presidential press secretary, Kula Fofana. She's already in studio to talk about today's address by His Excellency President Joseph Yoma Boakai. Uh, Madam Presidential Press Secretary, good morning and welcome to the Super Morning Show.
Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be back in the studios here with you all. Thank you.
Let me say congratulations again. I was asking people of historical knowledge. You should be the first female presidential press secretary.
Oh,
I don't
really?
remember one.
Oh, really? Wow.
And how does that feel for you?
Well, I didn't consider it as anything based on my gender makeup, but historically, I think it's honored. I'm honored. It's an honorable thing too, and I'm not sure when His Excellency President Boakai was making this appointment, he was specific about wanting a female in the role. I'm not sure that was the reason, but I think based on um, the historical fact, I think it's an interesting story to know that over the course of how many presidents we've had now, that we've not been able to have female press secretary. And it's interesting. It's interesting.
But,
And
but
I
was it
look
something you
forward.
were expecting?
To be honest,
As
not
somebody in the cycle of then candidate Joseph Yoma Boakai.
if I expected to be the press
Yeah.
secretary, none. I can tell you, I never thought, if anybody had told me that you're going to be the press secretary today, I would like smirk and just like, I'm from here, man. But no, but it is a role that I take really very serious, and I want to express my gratitude to His Excellency President Boakai and all those who recommended, me, because the presidency or the president or even the candidate is a big portfolio,
Yep.
and you may not necessarily know all of your team members, of the people who you want to work with. So there will be people who will say, what do you think of Vavle? What do you think of this person? Or you think this person can do? So to all those people who pushed my name forward, let me really say thank you to them, and thank you to His Excellency for selecting me in this post, and I take it very seriously, and I look forward to serving the presidency in the Republic of Liberia, because I see this role as the bridge between the office of the presidency and the public.
Great.
Public, both local and international. So I look forward to seeing how we can, navigate this and be able to tell the story and control our own narrative from the presidency.
Okay, let's also inform our listeners that this interview is being relayed on OKFM. But I've seen pictures of you having meetings with your staff, over the days or the week. What's the experience?
Well, so we hit the ground running. As you know, we recently got appointed, and the government, immediately after the sworn in, you already government in charge.
Yep.
So we've got a lot going on. We have announcements of nominees for consideration in the government portfolio, meaning the cabinet and other governmental agencies as well. So immediately, and as the chief scribe of the communication arm of the presidency, I'm the one who's supposed to relay those information.
Yep.
So, we hit the ground running, and we also prepared and preparing for the state of the nation today. So that means we need to do a lot of things we've been doing. So I've had meetings, a lot of meetings with my team, because the government, as we know, is continuity.
Yep.
So the office of the presidency, specifically the office of the press secretary, was there, and there were team members there. So my goal was to be able to understand where we are and the people we have, and to review what the challenges are and how we can work on that. So we did those preliminary getting adjusted meeting with the team, touring the office, but also meeting other strategic individual, and there are plans for me to have a lot of different meetings
Okay.
with media managers and others. But for me, I am more of, because like the photograph, the most recent one you're talking
Yep.
about,
Yep.
and that was in preparation of the annual message. So this time around, our team, the Office of the Press Secretary, going to be very proactive, and we're going to take the office to the people. So what's going
So
to
you're going
happen?
to do something different.
Exactly. So you will see the Office of the Press Secretary desk there today at the grounds of the legislature, where we're going to have printable things. So immediately at the conclusion of the annual message, we expect that we have copies readily available for partners, for media people, people who want soft copies.
The speech.
Yes, the speech.
Oh, wow.
Immediately available. And besides that, we have profile and brochure for the president and the arrest agenda. Everything is printed, and you have a desk there. So if you have questions, you can stop by, talk to our team members. They will be there. We'll have people in the rotunda. We'll also have people in the joint section that will take pictures. We also expect to be doing live tweeting. So those who will be attending, you can share your story with us using the hashtags that we've created, the annual message, hashtag annual message, just to get people abreast of what's happening along with the presidency. And we've been working. We have banners. You will see our banners there. You will see flyers there. You will see our logo, the Office of the Press Secretary, and communication channel. So, for example, you have an email address that should you need anything, you can send us an email. You want to organize some engagement with the presidency, you just let us know. We see whether there's a possibility. So we want to be able to be accessible to the people. So
this is quite impressive. We haven't seen this kind of communication strategy for a very long time. We see them in West America and all that, but you have reporters, independent journalists assigned at the executive mansion. In fact, I was assigned at the executive mansion one time in the leadership secretary general for the executive mansion press school, we call them. Have you met with them?
Oh, not yet. So there are plans to have a meeting with them immediately. So, but we're in touch. We're in touch with the Executive Mansion Press Corps, and we really want to be able to meet with them and know the institutions they come from, and how we can work better in terms of collaboration and information sharing. And actually, this morning they have been contacted because we also have the visiting His Excellency today, this morning, the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. So they will have to be there to be able to cover that courtesy visit. So we're already in touch, we're already working, but just to have some familiarity, some meetings. So immediately post the annual message, we have series of meetings planned, and definitely we look forward to working with the Executive Mansion team.
What kind of Executive Mansion reporters you want to work with? Somebody was saying the quality of the reporters that covers of the presidency will determine the quality of coverage you get from the presidency.
Well, for us, we are open to working with as many people as possible. And I do believe that the fact that you have a channel, you have a reach, you have people, we want to be able to get the message to our people. So we want to be able to get our people to understand the messages in their vernacular. We want to be able to utilize effectively the local radio stations that are in the counties, the county community radio stations. So we want those messages to go out, messages from the presidency. So I mean, we will be flexible, and one of the things that I do believe is being able to, because we know capacity throughout our country is a challenge. When I mean capacity, meaning being able to do other things, write effectively, report effectively, all of that. And as you know, I have a background in communications. My first degree is in mass communication, journalism specifically. So I will be looking out for opportunities for trainings, for example.
Wow.
Trying to see how we can have international institutions help our team, because I know there are lots of goodwill. There are people who are interested in helping building the capacity of journalists across the world. So however we can harness those kinds of opportunities, we look forward to having those where our journalists can be trained. Myself, I benefited from a lot of trainings back then, from NRC, for example, the Norwegian Refugee Council, and IRI, the International Republican Institute. Back then when they were here, there were lots of things around reporting and how to do reproductive health and rights reporting. I have a lot of certificate in those trainings that I benefited from, how to write stories, how to be of interest, human interest stories, and, different things, and really being able to compare, because we live in a global village.
Sure.
We live in a world where journalism is not just in your own local space. The fact that we own the internet, stories go wild. So in comparison to institutions like the CNN and the BBCs, you see reporters and you follow those, even on the continent, you go to some stations in Ghana, for example, in Nigeria, all these different institutions. So we want to be able to have our journalists who can be up to task the standards of those international space. I know it's a lot. I'm very excited. However, I understand the challenges. So we're going to take it a day at a time, and we're still going to be open to looking for opportunities.
Then I will ask this because at the executive mansion at the time we faced that difficulty. We were only assigned reporters in the counties. We traveled with the president in the counties. International trips, no, we didn't see that. I don't remember who traveled with the president, the past president. Are there going to be traveling opportunities?
So I will hope so. I will do my best. I can't promise, because when it comes to travel, but I will make the case.
Yeah,
trust me. I will make the case for all of that, because there is a need that. Remember, during President Sirleaf's time, there were opportunities extended journalists who will follow the president sometimes internationally to cover some of the stories, and it's very important. That's the capacity we're talking about. So I will trust me. I will make.
They should be excited right now listening to you.
I will make the case. I will do my best. I will push, and we'll see how we can, And one of the things is that we want to be able to build a network. So where if you Vavle, you have all this knowledge, and there are lots of local knowledge that we have in Liberia. How can you transfer the knowledge you have, creating the space to come and talk to your colleagues, train local journalists, train your other journalists, train community radio station journalists or the county journalists. So we're looking forward to such opportunities. Especially with a background in NGO setting, we know how we'll be looking for concept ideas, concept notes, proposals, looking for institutions that are interested in training journalists. And I'm sure there will be lots of goodwill along those lines.
That's the competence we're talking about. Now, let's come to the meat of the discussion, Kula. His Excellency, the President, addresses the 55th legislature today. Article 58, of course, demands that on the 4th working Monday of January each year. How prepared is the President?
I can tell you, firstly, the President is excited. There is a first step to everything. This is his first State of the Nation, or the annual message. And he's very excited. He's in high spirit. He's very much prepared to, give his message to his people. Because when the people lined up to express and repose their confidence in him when he elected him as president, and not just by his election, but also protecting their votes, people mounted spaces. I remember in Cape Mount, for example, our people were outside the entire day till the next morning to ensure that the actual votes were counted, the actual votes were reported. So by that, and by their own individual conviction. So the fact that the people stood up for him, he's looking forward to giving them the message and telling them, his plan, his agenda, and most importantly, being very realistic about where we are as a country, what challenges we are, how people should be prepared, what we met, but being committed to the cause, being committed to the presidency, being committed to doing the work of the people and making sure that it's not going to be business as usual.
Yeah. Let's just welcome Kevin Demi, who's just joined us. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Compliments. Happy New Year, cuz.
Thank you.
I've not seen you since the start of the new year.
We're on this side of Pinsville. How are you? How is Prime FM?
I'm very fine. You left out mentioning the name of Prime FM as part of one of the relays.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Many thanks to the management.
It's also relayed on Prime.
Yeah.
105.5.
Yeah, but I mean,
okay, FM as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
the
sure,
first female presidential press secretary is here.
Yeah. Oh, the first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, how much joy it brought to me when I heard the name Kula Fofana mentioned as part of the persons nominated for top governmental positions, and so I'd like to use this time officially to say congratulations to Madam Kula Fofana for the job well deserved, and when you get appointed, the next thing is you look for reactions and amongst us journalists.
Yeah.
I think this was something preferred, this was something accepted, and a lot of us, including me, reached out and said congratulations to Madam Kula Fofana for a job well deserved. But again, I wanted to. I know we have a long time.
Go ahead.
I was monitoring, and you asked very brilliant questions. Except that I wanted her to tell us the story. How did it come?
Okay.
Was this something that she lobbied for? Was there a conversation with you and the president? How did it come? You can just tell us that line.
Well, to be honest, I was as surprised as many people. So after we did, because we're very active, I'm also the head of media and publicity from the Unity Party. And we've been doing our work throughout the campaign, while at the same time I was also a candidate in the process.
Mhm.
So we've been playing dual role and doing a lot of different things, and also being a student at the law school. So imagine juggling all of those different things. So after the entire process, the elections, and then we've been trying to ensure that everything coming to the inauguration, working things out, but I never saw it coming. It was just, so the announcement was made, for example, today, and probably I would say yesterday or the day before, in between there, those conversations started. I was like, oh, we'll see what His Excellency is thinking. And then when the final announcement was made, I was like, okay, wow, so this is serious. Actually, when the announcement happened, I was actually writing my finals. I was in the test hall at the Louis Arthur Grimshaw.
When did you get the first news?
So one of my colleagues, I was actually taking my test, and then one of my colleagues ran to me, said, "Congratulations, school." I was like, "For what?" He said, "Oh, you've been nominated, you've been announced as president." I said, "Oh, really?" Then everybody, all my friends and colleagues started coming, jubilating and stuff like that. So I was as surprised as others, but it wasn't something also totally unexpected, because I do know that His Excellency has a knack for professionalism and people who he knows. So I know, even if it was this portfolio, I know somewhere along the lines he will, look forward to us joining his team. But again, to all those who helped push my name forward, lobbied or talk about it. In fact, to some point, all of the congratulatory messages, senators, representatives, and everybody else, they said, "Kula, yes, we very excited." Up to the vice president was like, "Yeah, that's my girl, go ahead." And the pro tem,
and Kelvin, talking about reaction from us, you remember, you in the PUL chat room.
Yeah.
The reactions have been very fair, in your favor, right?
Yeah, favor.
Yeah, very favorable.
And then you asked a question. I thought it was important to make a follow-up. I listened to your vision, when my colleague asked about what you envision for the office of the president and the Liberian media. Those are very fine layouts. But there's a difference from your layout and that of the presidency, So since your appointment, what has he said? What have you told him? The both of you have had a sit down and say, well, these are my plans, or Kula, what is it that you've envisaged as a relationship of the office of the president and that of the Liberian media? Have you both sat to have a conversation?
So as you know, immediately after our appointment, we hit the ground running. Like I've mentioned, we've been really very busy with ensuring that today activities goes to plan. So we have not really had a sit down to have a conversation around our plans, specifically with him, but we've had hallway talks, or what you call elevator talks. But there's a plan to have immediately after this. We're going to develop my own. I do have something along those lines, and also working along with my team to develop our own strategies and plan, because I can just go to His Excellency and say, this is my plan verbally. I believe that I have to, and for him, you can't just go to His Excellency and say, Mr. President,
It has
I
to
want
be
to
on
do
papers.
XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. So you have to be able to show what you want to do, and not just with him, with the Ministry of State, for example, with the team, because it's not just him, it's a whole team, and then even assessing the space. So we have some ideas generally, but immediately after that, my team's going to go do a working section where we're going to see what our priorities, what is our goal, how we intend to do that, and also ensure that we cost those and have something drafted before we're ready to have a sit down with him and have a full conversation, and also be able to share with the team at the Ministry of State and build some, networks as well, because we know we do have great ideas. However, we have to cost them, and we have to be able to be sure that we will be able to find the resources, and asking him, what can he help us with to ensure that we take the presidency to the people.
Okay.
So that is the plan for that.
Great. I hope you're going to have unhindered access to His Excellency.
Well, I mean, right now I do have access to the president and the presidency, and I'm sure. I mean, the environment that we work in, the current or the designated Ministry of State. These are currently for me, one of the blessings this position. These are people that I know.
Okay.
Prior to I worked in presidential relief government before. I worked around the presidency before. I know the Minister of State. I know people working along with him. So all the faces are familiar. Majority of the faces are familiar, I'll put it that way. And it's not going to be a difficult space to navigate through, and especially with my own approach to how I intend to, move about. So I'm sure it's going to be something that we can navigate.
Will you take corrections? Open up to, being corrected if you make mistakes. I know sometimes people take offense, when they are in certain positions and they make mistakes and people try to correct them, they take offense. You open up to those?
Absolutely. In fact, I rather honest criticism.
Okay.
I rather criticism coming from a place of intention to say, we can do this. But I'm very open to criticism, and I rather those than, because sometimes when you're in such portfolio, the sycophancy, the eye service, everybody want, everything is okay. I'm not that. If I'm getting all the time, then there's some serious problem somewhere. I seriously look forward, and besides just that, I do intend to build a community outside of this whole space where I can go for counsel, for example, people who've been long in this, people older generation of media gurus, as you may put it. A lot of them are around, and
the likes of Cyrus Badu.
Exactly.
The newly nominated Minister of Information.
And these are people that
Jeremy
we have relationships. These are people like Jeremy Pia. We were both on the Class Reloaded platform that we created. So he's a big brother, even big brother Cyrus Badu. And I look forward to even other people who may not even occupy the post, but are also within the media space in our country and even beyond. So I do come with that. I do intend to be open for corrections. I really will take those very seriously, because who are you to think that you know it all? Nobody knows it all. I do not claim to know it all or to know even a fraction. We live to learn every day.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the family will miss her. This is a very tedious job.
You'll be very busy with the president.
Yes.
So today is SONA. And we were concerned, as per my colleague's question, we are particularly concerned about preparation ahead of the program today, today's historic program. The president agenda told the nation in front of the legislature. One of the key things right now that's of utmost priority is the issue about preparation, assessment ahead of the president, so that we do not go back to what happened, what interrupted the speech on last Monday. Where are we?
So one of the things when we came from Bomi yesterday, the almost entire yesterday was trying to make sure that the space and the facility is in good condition. It's not a perfect situation as it is, but it's in good condition. We were in touch with the chair on executive who's in charge of all of this, and at some point of the show, I'm sure Vavle will be connecting him. And we, for this, there are lots of things that we've put in place with the team, so we're working together. As you know, this is a program or a section of the legislature, the joint legislature, and it is in their field. So we will give them all the necessary support. We've given them all the necessary support. It is a joint effort between the executive and the legislature, but also with the security team as well. So one thing they've assured us was that they've reduced the number of invitation. So in time past, they normally looked at somewhere around 500 and above invitation to give. Now they've cut it down to 400 to ensure that there's a limitation of crowd. They've also ensured that the space is well cleaned, the joint chambers have enough ventilation and air conditioning. And they've assured us that the Liberia Electricity Company or Corporation, LEC, is on course. Yesterday they told us that it was going to be there. The place will be well lit from 4 p.m. yesterday to the entire day today up to the evening hours.
That's LEC's commitment.
That's LEC's commitment. Okay. That's what. So I'm hoping that. So to confirm, I'm sure Honorable Dan will confirm it later during the show. So they've put in a lot of things in terms of water, because I was specific in asking them those specific questions. They said they have water station in places, and they initially they told me they had 2, and I insisted that they should make it at least 4, because when you have 2, there will be, people will want to rush the traffic there and stuff. So I asked them to at least add additional 2, and they agreed to do that. And with the issue of latrine, they still have this portable latrine outside. So the thing is, if you do not have invitation, they've asked that do not venture to go there. If you do not have pass, do not try to go there. So, and there are different layers of passes that they've given. They have service passes, because there are people who are supposed to go and serve, for example, food, serve water. There are service people who are supposed to access. So there, for the rotunda, and then for the joint chambers, they're strictly restricted. So if you do not have all access pass, you cannot go to the rotunda. And the journalists will have a specific place to be. And then there are only 2 or 3 people who will be on the grounds of the joint chambers to take those pictures, and people from our team, they to take real in-time pictures. And ERBC is one of the institutions, and then the expectation is that other people can connect via the platform through ERBC to be able to relay the message. So they've assured us that everything for now, from yesterday, he said they were at 98% excellent, but I insisted that at least by now there should be 99.9%, okay. I did go into the space to see, how
that was my next question.
Yes.
It seems that the conversation was more
reliant
on
the microphones and
right. So I did visit. We did a tour to be able to assess the entire space. We went to the joint chambers, and the people were still there trying to clean up. We're unable to test microphones and whatnot. This is something that we intend to do when we leave from here, and to ensure that they too have backup.
Sorry, you did so yesterday?
Yes.
testing the mask?
No, I didn't. We didn't, because the team was still there, trying to do cleaning up. The ladies were there trying to fix up everything else.
Okay.
So we will do that when we leave from here to get back there to check microphones and whatnot.
Cooling temperature is key in this conversation, and I think you know the background.
Mm-hmm.
So are we on top of that?
Yes. So myself entered the because that was one of the things I wanted to be able to feel
Okay.
the temperature. So yes, the AC, they have several ACs mounted.
Newly installed?
Newly installed
Oh, thank God.
ACs were mounted and they were being tested.
Hmm.
So right now, if you go there without a thick clothes, I'm sure if I go like
Wow.
this, I'll be shivering.
Mm.
Yeah. So yes, that I can.
I'm told that's an Antarctica there now.
Yeah, but when the crowd enters,
Yeah,
you know, naturally, you
naturally.
feel, and it's really humid.
Are you guys going to have cheering squad?
When you say cheering squad,
Yeah.
inside the
Yeah,
round,
inside the joint chambers.
so there's not a plan to say you're gonna bring, because once you do not have, and the people who will access the joint chambers are people, for example, our diplomatic friends and partners, of course, the representatives and senators and their families, you know, and few friends, as
Hierarchies of
well,
the party.
hierarchies of the party, the government, and whatnot. And then the rest, other people will definitely be outside. But at the end of the day, we do not have to say we have this group called our cheering squad. So it's possible I will be cheering. The representatives and senators, when you hear good things of your leader, you will be cheering. So that will be a natural. We expect a natural applause, a natural excitement, and whatnot. So we do not have that. And then other partisans will be in the yard and creating the euphoria, but because their leader is there, the leader is speaking. And I'm sure people will be cheering in their homes, because when they're listening and viewing, they will be excited to listen.
So
to
the program starts at what time today?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. And we are concerned about the length of the president's speech. If there's a need that we know, do we expect a very long speech? Short?
So one of the things I want to let the people know, because I know this has been a major issue. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, the president's speech shouldn't be long. The president's speech shouldn't be this, it should be that. Just to let the Liberian people know, even if it's 100-page, he's capable of reading and presenting his platform. One of the message that I think that we need to think about is the content of the speech. But I can tell you that the speech is ready. I've seen the speech, and it's set, and we can be assured of a great, delivery for the people. So don't worry about the length or the size. And I mean, our president is prepared to read as much as possible.
Kelvin and Madam Fofana, I think in essence, Article 58 is saying that the president will be presenting his legislative program. Of course, he wasn't the one who oversaw the country up to this time, so he cannot give us expenditures or and all that.
But he cannot account for the previous.
He cannot account for, but he will tell us what he inherited. So in terms of the legislative programs, you want to talk about?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So specifically, there are 3 key things that is expected to happen today. One, as you rightly put it, the legislative agenda, of course, talking about the bills that he intends to push to the legislature. But so the legislative agenda, the state of the economy, and the state of the country, the state of the nation where we are, So that's the 3 main things. And you're right, he may not be able to, but government is continuity. And there was, prior to now, there was an expectation that the team leaving will be able to turn over, their reports and stuff that will culminate into the president message. So we've received bits and pieces here and there. You know how things happened in our country here. And then there's also what we met. The outgoing president, the former president, did say he left X amount of resources in the account. But from reality, it's a different story. So the president will also be making, informing the country about the reality of what we met. And what is there, and what does it even mean? Because it's one thing to say I left this, and whether those
and there where the conflict comes in.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, we're going to say exactly where we stand, the state of the economy. I mean, the challenges we're inheriting, but most importantly, our agenda going forward.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, that's what the Liberian people want to hear. Liberian people want to hear our plans for the health sector, our plans for the education sector, our plan for all those key, areas,
The economy.
the economy in every, area that we're, I mean, supposed to be pushing forward the agenda for the country.
Mm.
Okay, so that's very important. Driving on my way here to the state broadcast, I heard you talked about some very good initiatives. Talking about immediately after the president's speech, there will be availability of hard and soft copies of the president's speech or delivery. Okay, so um, what are the activities for today? You said 4 o'clock it starts.
Yes.
And so, how long is the program? You know, what's the time frame? That's one. Secondly, what other activities would there be post? Analysis of the president's delivery on today, and how can the media access is key. Then finally, on that first set of my concerns is the issue about what is seemingly is growing, this new thing about limited number of institutions inside. I know it started off with the inauguration. I was fortunate to be a part of the 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 inaugural the media
Mhm.
meetings held at MICA, and one of the things they said was that two media institutions, of course, State Radio and ECWAS, will be given allowances to enter the 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 grounds of the Capitol or on the margin of the inauguration, and then the audibility. There was crack in the reports, from both institutions at some point, and then we also realized, which is concerning. I need to bring that to your attention. Um, this abnormal break in the internet. I don't know whether you observed that too,
Mm.
Vavli. This break in the internet thing. I'm told that some of the visiting guests got this device that will create that crack or interruption. So I hope that should be a part of your concern. And one of the things is that this long-standing media thirst for access, to these programs should be something you should prioritize. Some people feel disenchanted,
Right.
if they are not giving access.
Right. And I think those are very legitimate concerns. However, we do know the media is a growing institution, a growing community in Liberia. This is to say that, for example, I mean, anybody could come today and establish their media institution, especially with the issue of this online, where it's a free space where you want to do your online TV, you just get your devices, you put your team together, you create your name and all of that. So there is the multiplicity of a lot of these institutions, and I mean we encourage those. However, sometimes when you have these sort of programs, the more people you have, I mean, overcrowdedness. We saw how at the inaugural program, there were lots of journalists with all their devices right in the face, even to a point where the guests who were sitting behind, they couldn't see, what was happening in the place. So you have so many. So what's going to happen today is that at the joint chambers, there's space on the balcony where the institutions will be there. There will be lots of journalists there. The journalists who were giving passes, and that one was through the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism, and then the ones that will be on the ground of the joint chambers, because of course that's where the president will be, the securities will be, the senators and representatives will be. So you do not want to bring all the people right there too. Then you have like too many stuff. And then the other thing that happens too is that people who attend ceremonies to enjoy the ceremony, now everybody is almost like a journalist. You go to a program, next thing, everybody on their phone trying to take pictures of the occasion, which is also not a bad thing, but also sometimes you want to be able to sit down and enjoy the occasion and not being, disrupting, because you take your phone, you want to go there, oh, I'm a journalist, or even if you're not a journalist, but the fact that you have a device, you want to take a picture, all of those things are concerning. And I think those are legitimate issues that, talking about access, we'll do our best to ensure that the office of the presidency is accessible through us. We want to start to implement regular press briefing. If we'll not do it on a daily, but at least a weekly basis from the presidency. I do know the MICAT already have but MICAT covers the entire country, the entire government, apparatus is here and there. But we will be looking specifically at the presidency. So we want to ensure that we coordinate properly in a way where we'll do a regular updates, updating the media on happenings within the presidency. So we expect that journalists who will be part of the Executive Mansion Press School will be readily available once the schedule is set up. Come to the mansion, we'll talk about what's happening there, or wherever the office will be at the moment, because this office may be a roving office. One day we'll be here, we'll be on the road, because the presidency is an on the road kind of thing. I hope those.
Yeah, so I can ask you party questions, of course. I can ask you things that concerns the party, but the activities of the president. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
The job that we do, we are like the betweener for the public and government and public institutions, private institutions too as well. And some of what we hear that concerns your office, of course, the office of the president, we will try to bring forth those concerns in front of you. I know one of what has been a concern out there is the issue about since the inauguration, it is believed that the president has not gone to the executive mansion. Can you state any information around that? People are concerned. I'm quite sure you're saying
so
early criticism about that.
Right. So what I do know is that the president, because immediately after, it's about a week now, and there's still some things that need to be prepared. I can tell you the office of the presidency is not yet 100% prepared to host our new president. Even our office.
Is there an ongoing renovation?
There, at the end of the day, when you're moving, when you're moving, when people move, they move things, they move.
Okay.
So you still got to come and do some fixing here and there, check here and there, and make sure the place is okay. So I was on the grounds of the executive mansion assessing my own office to see how it is. I can tell you it's very challenging. There's literally nothing there to work with from my side. In terms of what's there is just decks, few decks. Even those decks, you could see them ripping apart. I'm being realistic.
You mean the executive mansion?
I'm being realistic. I will maybe after the state of the nation, maybe we can find time to walk in and see. Even so I can tell you for a fact that there's still lots of work need to be done, and the space is being prepared. Even the office of the vice presidency, for example, there are lots of. So when the new team coming in, there's a need to be able to get good chairs to sit down, good tables. Even the table that I have, you see one of the legs shaking, the peeling coming up. No computer. There's one computer. It doesn't even come on. There's a TV. Doesn't have any other thing next to it. The office does not have my office does not have an air conditioner. So the one air conditioner is sitting in the space there.
Really?
And then we'll have to open the door. And then the air conditioner in the general space for the rest of the team to enter in the
Why are you laughing?
It's just interesting
Where did you meet? And I'm tempted to ask you, where did you meet as the press secretary?
Where did I meet? Or
what did you meet?
That's what I'm explaining to you. This is what I met. So when I had a meeting with the team,
were you surprised?
What?
I was. What the word is? You flabbergasted or perplexed? No, but this is not to. And again, this is not to take away. I do not know what the situation was because I've not seen a turnover note. I would have expected a turnover note. I did ask when we had a meeting with my team there, whether there was any turnover note. They said, "Oh no, we don't have any turnover note." So I was like, "The team, okay, please do an inventory of what you have here. Just do like a report, on what it is like." And then I was going.
You should be speaking to the immediate bosses.
Isaac Sodokeba, or you have the deputy. Smith Tobey.
Yes, Smith Tobey.
Have you called them?
I shouldn't be calling them.
No,
I mean, we've not.
I
I
don't
know.
know.
I
I
know.
think you should be calling them.
No,
You
listen.
should endeavor to call them.
No, so here's the thing. By institution, if I mean I have a relationship with Smith, we all worked at Truth FM before. I know the former team like that. But professionally, I think it's just expected. I shouldn't ask you for a turnover note, for example. So if there's a team here, there's an expectation that if you're leaving, you leave the turnover note to whoever is in charge and say, okay, when the new team comes, this is what we have, this is what we met. The only thing that's in that office, I can tell you, is a desk and one refrigerator. And then they were telling me it was even actually a private refrigerator that somebody, the small freezers that they have, somebody left there. So that's the reality of things. So there's literally nothing. So I shouldn't be calling to say, hey, do you have a turnover? I can call them. I mean, that's not a problem. I do intend to even.
I think differently. It is
and-
true. You are quite correct in some areas that they should be telling you. Well, first of all, congratulations on your preferment as the press secretary, and doing your time out of choosing. You can let us know when we can sit and officially tell you the status of the office, how we left it, how we met it, and how we left
I
it.
think it's
But if
the
they did not
deputy who's
do
here. I
that,
think the press secretary himself, Aziz Sorokeba, is not here. It's not in country.
Okay, no, other than I mean, he could just on the phone even do those things. Now, if they've not done it, I think advisably you can reach out, say, hey, Smith, or Solo, access Solo's number, even if he's out of the country. Well, I'm the new guy on the block. Can we find some time to share notes on providing updates on the office of the president, the press secretary? At least let them, if they have not called you or they've not met you, I will advise that you reach out to them.
Oh, I like I said, there are lots of meetings I did, and one of the things was to meet with, we used to call him Smelly, so I still call him Smelly.
Smelly, yeah.
So yeah, to definitely meet, to talk about. He's a big brother, to get his counsel as well, to understand. I even have had a conversation with big brother Pia, because he also occupied the position.
Position before.
So definitely, I mean, I'm gonna do that, but on the aspect that has to do with like official business, it's just even if it's 1 page, 2 pages. So I did tell the team to actually put together, I mean, what's there, like an inventory and update on the status of the office and those challenges and stuff like that. Yeah, but I will definitely connect with Smith. And we can move from there.
Yeah, let's divert a little bit. I'm seeing a story here on Front Page Africa about the president appointing a committee of mostly senators to oversee appointments. And what is slow pace of appointments? What's going on?
Well, there's not a slow pace of appointment. I mean, I don't know if you know, there has been a lot of appointment being made incrementally. And again, at the end of the day, there's not just a team of senators, even though the senators are the one who ultimately will do the confirmation, which is important to have them prior to understand that the people who you're dealing with, this is the professionalism we talk about. So you can't just send people blindly, and then when they get there are challenges. But there also is, beyond the senators, there are a team of other people who will essentially talk to, vet and, ensure that the nominees that are coming from His Excellency are people who, because like I said earlier, the president will not know everybody and understand all of their credentials and here and there. So you need people like, a good counsel who will be able to advise on this, that. And so there's not a problem with that. It's just best practice. And
I think the criticism is these senators from another branch of government, from the legislature, and they basically interfering with the executive function. Is that a conflict of interest?
So
right
I understand there? As a law student, I understand the issue of constitutionalism, the separation of powers, the doctrine of separation of powers, and other things. But on this note, this is not an official. So, for example, the president is a member of the Unity Party, and the Unity Party entered into a collaboration with other political actors, other political parties. We had the Unity Party Alliance. So all these alliance members are individuals of political. So at the end of the day, yes, he may be the president, but his council of people who have been elected, part of the Unity Party Alliance, part of the political collaboration between those political parties, it does not exclude him to say do not deal with them. Dealing with them does not necessarily mean that he's doing it under the guise of using the legislature to say legislative organization to come and review. No. This is the government is a political institution. And these people are members of the Unity Party Alliance. So there shouldn't be any issue to say, oh, it's interference. And then he's not asking them to do anything outside.
But is he being pressured
to do what?
To make some appointments?
Not necessarily. He's not. He's not even being pressured to make appointment. The president has close to 4,000 people to appoint at different levels of government. So he cannot be pressured. And at the end of the day, like I said, you will need people to say this person will be best suited for this portfolio. The president will not know everybody. People recommend. That's why they have letters of recommendation. That's why you have people who will say, okay, this person will do best. And for that, I think is important.
When is the next list coming up?
As soon as possible. I know, everybody think.
I think people refreshing the executive management.
Right, but our focus for today is the annual message. And interesting, what's happening, like I mentioned earlier, Kelvin wasn't here, is that we do have a courtesy visit from the Vice President of Sierra Leone, who will be meeting, His Excellency this morning. And then, so that's the first thing that you were asking about, the course of business.
What's the purpose of the meeting?
It's a courtesy visit. We come to a country, our neighbors, Sierra Leone, Liberia, our Black brothers and sisters, especially with what's happening in Sierra Leone, So when you come to, the elderly statement to say, oh, uncle, we want to learn lessons here and there, and what can we do differently, blah, blah, blah. So the course of business this morning, he's going to have that meeting, after which he's going to, get to the
Vice President.
Yes, he's meeting the Vice President of Sierra Leone. And then next is the message delivery. After the message delivery, there's going to be the lunch. Having the foods with the people in the rotunda there. After that, and then just get back to business. The presidency is like a 24-hour, 7 days a week, nonstop operation, and he's prepared for that.
You were seen in Bomi County over the weekend. What for? You care tell us?
Well, first of all, Liberia is not Monrovia, and the presidency is not just confined to the executive mansion. The president can go any part of the country, and he has a home in Bomi. He grew up partly sometimes during the course of his upbringing. He was in Bomi. He has family there, so yeah, he's welcome to go any part of the country. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on like official activities. So he has a home there. So yeah, he went to his home to sit there and have 1 or 2 internal meetings here and there, but everything is part of the workings that he does as the president of the country.
Okay. So somebody said, does he have a farm there, or as just a home?
He has a home there.
Okay. All right. So she's Kula. My colleague left. She's Kula Fofana. She's the press secretary to His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yoma Boakai. And of course, Vavle Kamara is their lead moderator. He's gone for a bathroom break. My name is Kelvin Demi, and we are here in a special interview with Honorable Kula Fofana, Liberia's presidential press secretary. This is your first radio appearance since your appointment, am I correct?
Nope.
Oh, really?
We're on. My first appearance at the
State Radio.
State Radio.
Okay.
But I was on Spoon the other day, and Spoon relays with
okay.
local station because of the weekend. We needed to talk about these, and we were on. We had a press briefing yesterday, but to say this will be on the ground because Spoon is one of those. But like the state broadcaster, this is our first.
Of course, my name is Kelvin Demi, and this program has been relayed on a Prime 105.5 and OKFM 99.5, and we are in a chit chat with Madam Kula Fofana. Sorry, we'll open the lines. Vavle will have to come back to do that while we go about a question in the presidential press secretary. The media and the security has been a very key thing. How do you intend to moderate, intervene in those kinds of situations?
I think for the most part, one of our major issues throughout, learning from my time, in governmental spaces, is that the lack of coordination and proper communication. I think if we work harder on coordination and communication, things will be, okay. So just understanding that sometimes we do know that there is a need for media coverage, there is a need for the media presence, but it's also good the media to be able to, be open. I mean, sometimes if the security tell you that, oh no, not today, not now, respect that.
Okay.
I mean, it's not about muzzling. I know earlier the muzzling the press, the security trying to muzzle the press. Now muzzling the press.
Yeah. I think you can hold your breath and let's speak with Representative Emmanuel Dan, who's the chair on executive. Honorable, good morning. Welcome to the Super Morning Show.
Oh, good morning, Valley. Good morning, Kelvin, and the rest of the team there. Good morning, Madam Press Secretary.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Kelvin Demi is here as well.
He mentioned.
Okay.
He called my name.
Yeah. So are you on the grounds of the legislature, the Capitol?
Yes, we've been here since 6 o'clock this morning, and we're still here in jeans, trousers, and t-shirt, making sure that all is still set and ready. We came here to check the microphones, to still do mic check 1, 2, 3. After every 30 minutes, we'll have to go and check it. We came here again to ensure that the ASCs we left on are still all blowing, and they are all in perfect condition. We came to check to see the lighting system. We came to see to do follow-up with the bathroom to see that it's still tighted and still fresh as we left it. Yeah, everything is still under control here, and I can tell you, if mathematicians could just allow use above 100%, I would use it to describe how ready this place and set for the president's address today.
Quite a big assurance of everything ready.
Everything. For the reception hall, everything is set, decoration been done. The band is here. It's just been tested again. LBS is covering the entire event from outside to inside. The big screen is in the and they've been testing it. Yes, to broadcast from inside, so people who will be sitting outside can monitor. So yes, everything is still under control. The MCC is here, making sure that the area is clean. So all the least shopping, we have people along the route to just pick it up to make sure the place is clean before the president arrives here today. The Ministry of Health, we called on former Minister Wilhelmina Jada. She has done setup of a mini clinic here in the cafeteria where people can just come in and if they're feeling, sign of any pressure, they can go and test the pressure. And they're here to provide a medical service, a first aid treatment to people. There's a mini clinic being set up here by the Ministry of Health. Yes, water station. Yesterday, the press secretary asked us to do 4 stations, all been set here right now. We called on Madam Mary Broad to help us work from behind the scene, and she's also here. The entire team been here since this morning. So far, so good. The entire place is fresh, ready to receive the president today and his guests for this program.
Honorable Dan, just talk us through the program itself. I mean, you guys will go in session when it's almost 4 p.m. Then the president will walk in. I understand it as I covered the legislature before. Then will he have a seat to sit before delivering his speech, or he will just mount the podium straight away?
Okay, so here is it. The session will begin. Obviously, we have to go in the joint section, both houses, and the formalities will be done. Guests will start entering beginning 2 o'clock, and 2:45 we'll start our session. And obviously, when the president arrives, the joint committees on the executive will come and receive the president, escort him. We're not going to take him directly to the joint chambers for his speech. We've asked the president team to make sure that he's here ahead of the address. We are going to escort him to a holding room. There's a place being prepared for him, where we're going to take him. He's going to sit there, take his breath, have some relaxation, and begin to concentrate. Once it's a minute to the time, we escort him strictly to the podium where the national anthem will be played, and immediately the president is going to begin addressing the nation.
Who presides today?
The speaker of the 55th National Legislature.
No, I know. I just want to say.
Kunati Kofa presides over the session.
And who are those we expect as guests?
Okay, so the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been circulating invitations, but we are told that the president has a list of his possible guests. We are informed that the vice president of the Republic of Sierra Leone is in country. He and his entourage are going to be right here today for this program. The dignitaries, members of the diplomatic corps, we've invited members of the cabinet, we've invited ministers, officials destined of the current government. Yes, there are a lot of invitations have been sent out. We printed 400 invitations and they've been circulated already. So yes, we expect a lot of high-profile individuals here, personalities will be here today.
Representative Dan, as you are speaking, sorry, let me just stretch my hand.
Yeah.
As you are speaking, there are concerns from the public as to whether they could have their participation in persons at the grounds of the Capitol today. Is there a possibility? At least it's important you note that here, so that the folks out there monitoring via State Radio, Prime, and OKFMs can know as to whether they should troop to the grounds of the Capitol or not, or probably listen via different radio stations.
Okay, so we put in place a control. We've spoken with the Unity Party leadership and its alliances to make sure that we put in place a control mechanism. So Unity Party and the alliances, political party members, yes, we give access to them. We have a specific place for them to sit. Not the building, it's outside of the building, in the yard of the Capitol building. And we have placed a big screen where they're going to sit right here, monitor everything, the visual and the audio. They're going to monitor right outside of the yard. Yes, there's a place there for them. But inside of the building, no, we're not going to have barricades. We're not going to have cheering squad. We're not going to allow people entering our building without access pass. No one is going to be allowed. So yes, obviously, we've done some setup here for those people. Besides that, we've done some catering. The speaker made some provision. We've done catering for those who are going to come. There's water station here to provide water for the cooling of people and cold drinking water too. Yes, obviously, I can confirm that we've spoken and we've been working with the Liberia National Police, if have the joint security and the party officials to set up some controls. The GC choir, we are told they're here. They're going to come here today. The Liberia National Cultural Troops, they're going to come and perform outside of the building. Yeah, so there's going to be some excitement, some different activities going on outside of the building.
I know that during the aftermath of the inauguration, there were matters arising, and one of such was the issue about how the caterers, as you term them, were very mean to the attendees at the program. Even water, people were asking, well, I want drink, and people say, no, the water not for you, even though you invited them. So you can't tell us whether the people who you're inviting should carry their own water or they should depend on the water that will be provided by the organizers of the program.
So there's provision have been made. Those who are coming to the program that were invited, once you have your invitation, you are to be part of the luncheon, the reception after the president's address. So obviously, there's food, there's water, that people are going to be in there for the guests. Outside, we have done some catering. We hire 4 different groups to come and provide food and drinks for soft-drinks for those who will be outside. So yes, the mistakes that were done during the inauguration, that's what we try to, just rectify during this other program. Obviously, provision been made for them, catering been done, food and water will be outside for those that will be outside of the building. Sufficient food and water. Yes.
So Representative Dan,
they would not have access to the reception without invitation.
So with that said, strictly nobody should carry food items on the grounds of the Capitol. Is that what you're saying?
Those who usually come to sell?
No, I'm saying people who you invited, the guests, the persons you've invited.
No, there's no need. There's no need for that. There's no need to come with food. Obviously, if you want to come with your water in your vehicle, we can stop it, but we're going to have sufficient water here for you. But once you want to drink 10 bottles, just ask for it. You're going to be given. So food is going to be here to eat. There's no need of bringing food. No. So I don't see the reason why somebody would take food from the houses and come over here. No, there's provision already made for that.
Maybe finally from my end, and then maybe my colleague Vavle can be able to take over from here. There are concerns about I know during the inauguration there were breach. There were people who said people came and saying that they're party people and it is their program they should enter. Will there be strict adherence to the number of persons that you've envisaged to attend the programs so that we avoid overcrowdedness? Because people said there were ways people find their way to enter, some kind of way people enter, broke through the grounds of the Capitol without their permission of the security. So are you strictly adhering to the number of persons, I think 400 or 500 you said, in total that will be invited at the program? Or you'll allow people from anywhere to just enter?
Certainly, Kelvin. So let me inform you that from yesterday, 6 o'clock, we turned over this building to the joint security. They have taken over the 17 entry points into the building, both the Senate and the House of Representatives. They have been given strong mandate. No access pass, no access to the building. No invitation, no access to the building. And so I believe strongly they are going to adhere to that. So, party officials, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs printed sufficient invitations, and I think they sent it to the party leadership, especially the Unity Party. Those who are supposed to be invited, they have circulated the invitations. We just want to send this message. Your party official, please find out from the party leadership to receive your invitation, because it's going to be embarrassing. You come on the grounds of the Capitol and you'll be denied. Obviously, no party official will enter the building. I don't want to see that happening. I expect that all of the party officials, they want to see the president present his first speech. I think we're going to be excited about this. So we just advise and reach out to the chairman, the party leadership, and so they receive their invitations instead of coming. Because the strict mandate, no invitation, no access pass, you wouldn't enter the building. We did a circular. Even our employees are all sitting home today, except for the maintenance people, our security here. No one else allowed to come. Our staffers who are working here, today is a holiday for them. We asked them to stay home once they have nothing to do here. The circular was sent out. They will be paid for the day. No one's going to deduct for them. But we want to set up put in place a serious control mechanism. And so we cannot have our staffers running, and then that's how intruders will come. So we ask them to stay away. That's how we are asking everyone. If you're from a party, wherever you are friend to some government officials, you're friend to the incoming government, the current government now, just reach out and get your invitation or get your access cards. Because without it, you wouldn't enter.
Okay, I'm turning over to my colleague Vavle, and so that's the voice of Representative Emmanuel Dan. He's the chairman on executive. They're providing updates further to what the presidential press secretary, Madam Kula Fofana, has mentioned. So just in summary, Vavle, maybe Vavle's hour or some you can count. So it's strictly invitation per invitation. Yeah. If you do not have invitation, you cannot access the grounds of the Capitol today. Whether you can be a party member or battle cry or whatever, it is per invitation.
Because people say a voucher for their one.
Yeah. So if you voucher like Representative Dan was saying, if you're a party stalwart,
I think he still wants to give some information. Yeah, Honorable Dan, go ahead.
So you can just keep listening. Maybe there will be matter arising.
Just finally from my end, I mean, you will have two categories of journalists today. Those who are assigned at the legislature, the legislative reporters, the other journalists that will come from other institutions. I mean, how are you going to treat them?
Okay, so our communication departments, both houses, have journalists covering those places. And so when we asked them to do, they submitted the listing. We vetted the listing. We sat on in a joint security meeting, and we turned the listing over to EPS. Usually does the printing of the passes for some security reasons. So all of those institutions are supposed to cover this even today. The passes have been turned over to the communication department of the House of Representatives. And so they've been distributed already. I've been told by Director Robert Hicks that they've been distributed. So in the chambers, all of the journalists covering this program today will be upstairs. We have a place already set for them. The only journalists that will be down in the chambers, one cameraman from LNTV and one camera person from the office of the president. The rest of them will be upstairs. All of the international.
And when you say camera, they're not full camera.
No. I'm talking about obviously the office. I said the press secretary addressed that, but we've given them full access to send a cameraman down in the chambers when the president will be speaking. Obviously, it's the office of the president. I don't believe the press secretary will send. I saw the sophisticated camera yesterday. The guys when we're doing the tour, so I believe that's the person she's sending to cover that. And so just that camera person plus the cameraman who's doing the coverage on LNTV will be down in the chambers. The rest will be upstairs. This place already set for them.
Okay, Kevin.
Yeah, sure. So just in summary,
thank you very much, Honorable Dan.
No.
Maybe we can talk about the security.
Maybe you can contact Moses from the security aspect. Yeah. So while I'm doing the wrap up,
thank you very much.
I'm not sure Vavle, the security was at his game this time. I mean, prior to the inauguration, I can say there were blue marks in all departments of the security aspect. I'm not sure there have been any briefing that's tend to be corrected on anything ahead of the SONA, the State of the Nation, because listening to the press secretary, if it is at 4, it means that at least the public know the traffic diversion.
Yeah.
So just to provide information, yesterday